Hello, I'm Trainer James, and today I'm bringing you a historic best of 3 deck, and we are playing a Naya Go Wide with a Jetmir as our prominent card in the deck, or basically what the entire deck is based around, or built around, Jetmir rather. And so Jetmir appreciates a wide board. As you can see, creatures you control get +1/+0 and have vigilance as long as you control 3 or more creatures. That includes Jetmir. And then creatures you control get +1/+0 and have trample as long as you control 6 or more creatures. And then creatures you control get +1/+0 and have double strike as long as you control 9 or more creatures. So Jetmir wants us to go wide. So how do we go wide? Well, we have Ropeline Attendant here, which for a green and a white is a 2/2 cat citizen. Whenever it enters the battlefield, creature cards in your hand perpetually gain when this creature enters the battlefield. Create a 1/1 green and white citizen creature token. So Ropeline Attendant allows our creatures in our hands to enter the battlefield with additional 1/1 citizen tokens. So that's one way we go wide. Another way is Charming Prince here. Now, Charming Prince, for 1 and a white, is a 2/2 human noble. When it enters the battlefield, you choose one. Scry 2, you gain 3 life. Both good options, but what I'm really looking at is this last option. Exile another target creature you control, return it to the battlefield under your control at the beginning of the next end step. Well, if you play a Ropeline Attendant on turn 2 and then turn 3 followed it up with a Charming Prince, you can exile the Ropeline Attendant and then it re-enters the battlefield, thus giving our creatures in hand another perpetual of allowing them to enter the battlefield with a 1/1 green and white citizen creature token. So rather than entering with a 1/1 green white citizen token, they enter with 2 of the citizen tokens by blanking it with Charming Prince. And then you could also blank the Racketeer Boss with Charming Prince, which I sometimes like doing. So for red and a green, you get a 3/2 Cat Warrior. When it enters the battlefield, you choose up to 2 creature and or planeswalker cards in your hand. They perpetually gain when you cast a spell, create a treasure token. And then, so you can you can make it so that 2 creatures in your hand enter the battlefield and create a treasure, and then if you blink the Racketeer Boss with Charming Prince, you can make 2 more creatures in your hand enter with treasure tokens attached to them. So these are both really great blinking options with Charming Prince, and of course you have Skyclave Apparition, which is another great blink option with Charming Prince. But on our 4-drop slot, our top end, obviously we have Jetmir. But we also have 2 Cubwarden. So for 3 and a white, you get a 3/5 cat that has mutate for 2 white, has a lifelink. Whenever this creature mutates, create 2 1/1 white cat creature tokens with lifelink. Again, you mutate onto a creature, it enables us to go wide by creating 2 1/1 white cat creature tokens. And with the exception of Charming Prince, who is a human, all of our other creatures are not humans. So the Cubwarden can mutate onto Jetmir, Lae'zel, the Bonecrusher, Skyclave, Racketeer Boss, Ropeline, or the pup. And then we also have 2 copies of Lae'zel. So for 3 and a white, we have a 2/4 Gith Warrior that has double strike, specializes for 1. When you cast this spell, it gains when this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls. You may exile this creature, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. Now, our deck, we're only running red, white, and green mana. So we can only specialize into the white, red, and green versions of Lae'zel, but that's okay, because the white version of Lae'zel, Blessed Warrior, is a 3/6 with double strike, and then when this creature enters the battlefield or specializes, seek a non-land permanent card with mana value 3 or less. And then its red version enters the battlefield or when it enters the battlefield or specializes, create 2 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. So again, another way to go wide to help Jetmir become full potential. And then we also have the white version of Lae'zel, Primal Warrior. When this creature enters the battlefield or specializes, other creatures you control and creature cards in your hand perpetually get +1/+1. So The green version of Lae'zel can make all of our creatures just a little bit bigger. We're running 2 Cabaretti Revels because it's a fun card. You know, this is historic. It's legal here, so I like Cabaretti Revels. And then we have 1 Tamiyo Safekeeping. We also have 4 copies of Bonecrusher Giant because, you know, it's Bonecrusher Giant. We're playing red. And then everything in our sideboard, we have 2 Portable Holes, 2 Farewells to deal with preferably, you know, not creatures, because that would exile our creatures as well, but it allows us to get rid of artifacts, enchantments, and graveyards. We have 4 Guardian of Faiths to deal with wraths, basically. I like Guardian of Faith. I used this card a lot in my Alchemy version of this deck in the previous Alchemy Standard format, but it rotated out, so it's not legal anymore. So I'll use it here in Historic. We have 2 copies of Archangel of Wrath, and while we are not playing black mana, we do have 4 copies of Forsaken Crossroads, and we do have Racketeer Boss, which can make treasures. So we can potentially still kick Archangel of Wrath twice to get the 4 life off of kicking Archangel of Wrath twice. Then we have 2 Shifting Ceratops against control decks. And then as for Roiling Vortex, Rampaging Ferocidon, and Quakebringer, I couldn't decide on which anti-life gain card I wanted. So I just decided to take one of all 3 of these and, you know, just have fun with it, I guess. But yeah, this is Jetmir Go Wide in Historic Best of 3. So let's go ahead, get to some matches, and I will see you on the battlefield. We will play first. Thank you. 1 land. Ugh, what are the chances we draw a second land? Well, chance to draw a land, 45%. Okay. Well, I'm gonna keep this hand. Oh gosh, this could be very bad. But okay, I'm gonna decline. I know we have a 1-drop, but oh gosh. Oh gosh. Okay. And our opponent's on black. Probably Rakdos. Of course. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Alright. Well, thank you. Alright, let's attack. Liliana. Nope. Fable. Never mind. Okay. Apparition or rope line? I think we just go Apparition. Take their Fable. Yes. Alright. The opponent did not like that. Okay. Well, we know they have a Kroxa, which, I mean, Portable Hole can take out Kroxa. Farewell can get rid of graveyards and whatnot. I'm sorry. I just had dinner. I'm trying to keep a burp from coming out. But, okay, Cabaretti Revels. Cabaretti Revels I honestly don't mind against Rakdos just because, like, it enables us to get a bunch of creatures on board. But, you know, we obviously have to get the mana to play it. Get to the mana to play it. Let's take out 2 Cubwardens and bring in Portable Holes. Farewell. They have enchantment. We can get rid of their graveyard. Don't really want to target creatures just because we play nothing but creatures. Take out one Revel for one Farewell. Let's try that. Well, I mean, oh my gosh. Well, if our opponent has a Thoughtseize, they pretty much take our entire hand because we have nothing but lands and one Lae'zel. But we do have a couple Forsaken Crossroads. Our opponent decided I was taking too long. And I won. Thank you. I love you.
Love you.
Waiting on the opponent. All right. Oh, we'll keep this hand. We can Racketeer Boss into Ropeline Attendant, or we can Ropeline Attendant into Racketeer Boss. Our opponent's on Boros, potentially. Looking like Boros. In that case, I might just go Ropeline Attendant first. Let's do you on green. Untap. Okay. We're set up to go wide now. We know our opponent has a Bonecrusher that's ready to go. We'll probably stomp out this Ropeline Attendant. Next turn, I think we Jetmir's Garden. And make it so that Bonecrusher and Jetmir himself, make treasures. We'll play you. Well, bam. Are they going to play a giant? Nope. Just removal after removal. Alright, well, I'm going to attack. And then play Lae'zel. Next turn we can specialize her into the green. Well, no, maybe the red version. Depends. Like, if we specialize her into the green version, then Jetmir gets out of range of a Bonecrusher Giant. Like, they would have to block with 2 Bonecrushers. Okay, so we'll go green. Get rid of this land. Go Jetmir. Well, bam. Attack with both. We have Vigilance. Lae'zel has Double Strike. Well, bam. Guess our opponent could have a Wrath here. Rip apart. Okay. Yes, I will. Make everything else just a little bigger. Wabam. I guess that's enough to just kill him, huh? Yeah. Okay, so they have a bunch of spot removal, Bonecrushers. Player's damage can't be calling a professional deals 3 damage to any target. Okay, Rip Apart only deals damage to creatures or planeswalkers. It can also destroy artifacts and enchantments. So I guess Cabaretti Revels is out. I mean, I feel like they're running white, so they're definitely they might have like Wrath of God in the board, so I might bring in like Guardian of Faith. Skyclave Apparition deals with Bonecrusher Giants on board. But they're also small enough that they can be stomped on, so I'll take 2 out and add in all 4 Guardian of Faith. Archangel of Wrath. I think this might be fine. Okay. I will keep this hand just because we have 2 Racketeer Boss and we have our Guardian of Faith. So basically we don't want to put a treasure on Guardian of Faith because we want as many treasures as possible. So if we need to play Guardian of Faith, we can. So that means I put a treasure on Racketeer Boss and Charming Prince. And we play Jetmir's Garden first. I didn't even check to see if they went top or bottom with their scry. Let's do green. Untap. Racketeer Boss. We can also gain life with Charming Prince. Okay. Thanks, I guess. I'm gonna play this on white. Untap. Let's do Racketeer Boss. Charming Prince. Charming Prince. Okay, let's do that. Bam. Make 2 more treasures. Let's exile you. And then... well, we don't have the mana up for Guardian of Faith in case they have a Wrath, so I'm just going to go ahead and play Charming Prince. And then exile you. That way our creatures make just a bunch of treasures for Guardian of Faith. We do have one treasure to protect one of our guys if they have a Wrath of God or something with Tamiyo's Safekeeping. Lightning Helix. Okay. Let's see if you have another. Well, at least prevent the 3 life from Lightning Helix. Sure. Okay. Take action. I'm just gonna Jetmir here. Let's get in all the damage. Yeah, they might have a Wrath, but, you know. We got them down to 7. Two Lightning Helixes, a Lightning Helix and a Stomp, 2 Stomps, like, plenty of things deal with Jetmir. But I like having Jetmir here. Alright, they went to 5. Alright, they're at 7. Alright. Let's see. Take action. Play Ropeline Attendant. Play Apparition. Bam. Yeah. So, this is a match from mobile that I wanted to show you guys. And so, as you can see, we have a pretty good starting hand to Racketeer Boss, the Tenacious Pup, Bonecrusher Giant. And we have all of our colors in our lands. We chose to go first. We are facing someone who is at number 80 in Mythic. They're pretty high up there. Opponent, are you here? Just kidding, I know they're here. Alright, so I opt to not play Tenacious Pup first because I want to play Tenacious Pup when I can have it enter making a treasure. So the goal is to play Sacred Foundry tapped, so we don't have to take the 2 life from it, and then next turn play a Tumble Garden, play Racketeer Boss. But, you know, our opponent has a Thoughtseize, of course. Because black is all over Historic. Black is all over, like, Standard and Alchemy, too, and Explore. Black is just everywhere. But, play our Racketeer Boss. You know, make it so that Racketeer Boss and Tenacious Pup both enter with treasures. Our opponent has a Molten Impact. Good old Molten Impact. We take 2. Because we want to be able to play our Racketeer Boss and our Tenacious Pup. I opt to play Racketeer Boss first. Because, well, for one, Tenacious Pup enters and makes 2 treasure tokens. But also, I want a different creature to get the +1/+1 counter from Tenacious Pup and the Vigilance and Trample counter from Tenacious Pup as well. And of course, we're just flooded. Just straight out flooded. Nothing but lands. We have all these treasures and all these lands. Nothing to do with any of them. Our opponent comes down with a Graveyard Trespasser. And now I am fortunate that we have the lands because we have a Skyclave Apparition, which means we get target the Graveyard Trespasser and we can discard one of the lands. And bam! Our opponent is without creature, and we have a 3/3 Trample Vigilance Skyclave Apparition. And then our opponent follows up with a Liliana, of course. Yep. And we are still flooded. So I decide to concede the game right there. So I choose to play first. I didn't take anything out for our sideboard. I didn't bring anything from the sideboard in because I didn't really feel like there was much relevance to bringing anything in against our Rakdos opponent. But I choose to keep this hand because the thought is Forsaken Crossroads comes down on white. And then we play Lair the Hydra, and we follow that up with a Ropeline Attendant. Basically, which means that all of our other creatures will enter with an additional 1/1 citizen creature token. So if our opponent goes to play Liliana, then if they try to get us to sack something, we can sack the token instead of sacking our creature. So that's the thought process here. As soon as our opponent allows us to, play. Opponent, hello, are you there? I know you're there. I've played this match already. Cabaretti Revels, cannot cast that, so I put it on the bottom. I don't have the 2 reds to play it, and so come in with a Temple Garden, but we drop Lair the Hydra instead, because otherwise turns 3 and so on, it would enter the battlefield tapped. Plus I don't feel like taking the 2 damage from a Temple Garden. But our opponent has Fatal Push, which I expected, so, it's whatever. Blood Tithe Harvester. Decisions. We could... Well, no. We couldn't stomp the Blood Tithe Harvester because Jetmir's Garden is going to enter tapped. So, we play Jetmir's Garden because we need the red source, and then we play our Tenacious Pup. It makes the token. If our opponent wants to sack their Blood Tithe Harvester to take out, a pup or something, I'm fine with that. But they have an Inquisition of Kozilek, so, yeah. They have choices, either Bonecrusher or Skyclave, and they choose the Bonecrusher. Has a dual utility in stomping something and coming down as a 4/3 creature, so I guess it makes sense to take the Bonecrusher. But right here, we can actually play our Skyclave Apparition now. Past James, hello. I think I was thinking at the moment, do I play Skyclave or do I play Lae'zel? And I go for Lae'zel. So, the thought process here is that Blood Tithe Harvester can't take Lae'zel out. Even if another Blood Tithe Harvester comes in, the Blood Tithe Harvester can give Lae'zel, -4/-4 with 2 bloods. But Lae'zel is now going to be a 3/5 because of the Tenacious Pup. So Lae'zel would still survive. Plus we come down and wind up making another 1/1 citizen creature token. Just got to keep trying to go wide, Well, bam. No attacks, no profitable attacks, because, Blood Tithe Harvester could block both the pup and the citizen and survive, so no point in attacking there. Opponent, what is your play? Yep. Exile. Bring it back. Make another token. But our opponent can get it now. So, you know, we're out a Lae'zel, but we still have 2 Skyclave Apparitions. We still have a bunch of, 1/1 creature tokens. And I brought this up because I was confused. I didn't realize that the when this creature becomes a target of a spell or an ability, it exiles itself and then comes back. I didn't realize that that was a one-time thing. Like, all the times I've played Lae'zel and Alchemy, I've never once encountered that problem. So yeah. And I played to the board realizing that our opponent could have a meat hook here. And they could meat hook all of our creatures. Because, our biggest creature has 2 toughness. And they could meat hook for 2 right now. So that was a bit of a mistake. Just thinking about it. But that also forces our opponent to have a meat hook, which they didn't. They had Inquisition and the Molten attack. So we bring out a Lair of the Hydra. Swing with everything. Get in as much damage as possible. Take him down to 3. And now if they meat hook for 2, because that's what they would need to do to take out the pup, then, we can still, Lair of the Hydra. Lair of the Hydra for 3. Make them block with their token. Give me your illusion creature. Yes, thank you. Our opponent's still at 2 life. Still at 2 life. I'm deciding if I should play the Sacred Foundry, which I do. That way I can attack for 3 with Lair of the Hydra and keep a white land source up for our Tenacious Pup. So let's go ahead and attack. Granted, it was a little risky there. Our opponent could have had like a Fatal Push or something, but again, like, they were at 2 life. We had to make them have it, Like, we have them so close to dead that we just have to make them have something, have an answer. So, now we get to play our Lair for, what, 5? Yeah. And then our Tenacious Pup can also attack. It can trade with their Den. Which is exactly what they're going to do. But we still have our Lair. We still have our Lair. They have to come up with an answer. And this is actually a really great draw here. Because we can make the tokens with it and then still attack with the Lair of the Hydra as a 1/1. So even if they have a Fatal Push, we still get in for 2 damage. And of course, they must have had some sort of removal spell because, they conceded right there. And honestly, I am still just going to keep the same hand. I'm looking over Lae'zel here because I was confused about this. You may exile this creature and then return to the battlefield under its owner's control. Like I said earlier, I didn't realize that was just a one-time thing. I thought that was like a perpetual thing, I guess. I thought Lae'zel entered with that perpetually. Though I guess thinking about it, that would make it incredibly strong. And now that I know that Lae'zel can be targeted, they can exile it and then bring it back and then it doesn't have that effect anymore, Now I know that, Lae'zel can be taken out with, spot removal. You just need 2 spot removals for Lae'zel in order for that to work. But we're waiting on our opponent. They're probably going to go play first. Because who wouldn't? Who doesn't like playing first? I know I like playing first. And this hand, it's lacking green. But if we can find a green source, then we can Racketeer Boss. And, give some other creatures the ability to create treasures. Thus allowing us to basically fix our mana problem. And luckily, we draw our Lair of the Hydra. So we play Racketeer Boss. And we give Ropeline Attendant and Racketeer Boss both the ability to make treasures upon entering the battlefield. And our opponent has a Liliana. Oh yes. I've always hated crowds. So here's a neat interaction, right? Racketeer Boss is going to come down, makes a treasure, right? We target Ropeline Attendant and we target Bonecrusher Giant, right? Which means when I go to stomp Liliana, the stomp is going to make a treasure, which means we were able to play Ropeline Attendant off of the treasure and the white mana source, because Ropeline Attendant made 2 treasures of its own, thus allowing us to stomp out the Liliana, and we got a treasure for using Stomp. So I thought that was a pretty cool interaction. All right. What to do? I realized right there, I should have played the Forsaken Crossroads, because I could have used Lae'zel. Or I could have cast Lae'zel and then specialized away the Temple Garden to either specialize into the white version or the green version of Lae'zel. But, that thought crossed my mind after I played the Temple Garden. So, my mistake there. So Lae'zel, go on, come down, make your 1/1 creature token. Our opponent's sitting on 3 mana with a Blood Tithe Harvester. Probably not quite ready to give up their blood, just because they can sack the Blood Tithe Harvester and get rid of our Ropeline Attendant. Opponent, hello. I know you're here. Just, whenever you're ready, opponent. Whenever you are ready. Alright. Lae'zel enters. No attacks. Because I want to keep my Ropeline Attendant. Or, just make the opponent deal with it. Liliana. And there goes Lae'zel.
Haven't you ever heard of personal space?
Darn. Alright. Time to drop this Forsaken Crossroads. Untap it. I think I played Giant here. I think. Pretty sure. Yeah. And then I can crew up Lair of the Hydra for 1 and take out Liliana. Wham, bam, thank you, man. Get out of here.
Delay, nothing more.
A delay and nothing more. That's right, Liliana. You are delayed for being on the battlefield. Good old Blood Tithe Harvester standing in our Bonecrusher Giant's way. It's crazy to think that that this vampire here can stand in the way of a giant and actually take the giant out. Like maybe the Blood Tithe Harvester, maybe his name when he was human was Jack, and he was the one who climbed the beanstalk, right? And took out the giants. So opponent, you may attack. Prince Charming. Good old Skyclave Apparition. Take out the Harvester. That way it can't sack itself to, kill our Skyclave Apparition. I really didn't feel like discarding Charming Prince or Jetmir to get the Graveyard Trespasser, because Bonecrusher Giant could just stand in Graveyard Trespasser's way. Unless, of course, our opponent has another... Molten Strike? I can never remember the name of that card. Molten... something. Strike. Molten. I don't know. I don't know. But anyways, if our opponent has one of those, then they can take out our Bonecrusher. Molten Impact. That's the name of it. Okay. Well, bam. Go ahead. Attack. I'm fine with that. They got us down to 7. But next turn, we're going to be able to play Jetmir. Or we can mutate onto a non-human citizen and get a 3/5 cat, which makes 2 more 1/1 white cat creature tokens with trample. So yeah. Well, bam. No attacks. I don't feel like losing my Cubwarden to a block with a Blood Tithe Harvester and their illusion token blocking. Because our Cubwarden would have only been able to take out one of those creatures anyways. So yeah, at least we have a way of gaining life now. Opponent just has all the removal. Just all of it. Go ahead. Attack with the Harvester. Attack with the Harvester. Please attack with the Harvester. I would much appreciate the Harvester attack. But they opt not to, so we block the illusion token. We at least gain 1 life from it. Got ourselves a Ropeline Attendant. We get to follow that up with a Charming Prince, and then we get to exile the Ropeline Attendant and bring it back at the beginning of our end step, which is a interaction I very much appreciate with Charming Prince in this deck. Our opponent just has to, not have removal, which they don't. Or at least if they did, they opted not to use it there. So Jetmir gets to enter with 2 1/1 citizen tokens, which means we will have a total of 6 creatures on board. which means all of our creatures will get +2/+0 vigilance and trample. Our opponent wound up using a blood token. Of course, they have another Molten Impact. I'm pretty sure that's their 4th one. Yes. Carefully select the mana. Attack. Our opponent opts not to block, which is fine. And of course, that is their 4th Molten Impact right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. They drew all 4 Molten Impacts. So lucky. Luckily, we have a Lae'zel. I mean, we have nothing to specialize right now with Lae'zel, but, you know, we have her. No attacks, because, you know, none of these attacks are profitable. Opponent opts to do nothing. We're going to specialize away this Charming Prince. Get us or seek a permanent with a mana value 3 or less from Lae'zel, Blessed Warrior. Oh, opponent. Hello. Number 80, Mythic. Opponent. Please respond. Let's finish this game. It's like a 29-minute match. I'm ready to edit this video so I can get ready to go to bed. Racketeer Boss. Fire up that Den of the Bugbear. You know our opponent's going to have removal for it too. Yep. Yeah, that's fine. We still have a 3/6 double striker. Their Blood Tithe Harvester can't stand in its way. Or in her way. Pretty sure Lae'zel is a girl. She looks very feminine in her art. So, I'm personally going to attack because we have our 3/1/1 citizen creature tokens to block the Blood Tithe Harvester if they wish to attack. And need to just start killing the opponent. So yeah, we attack with Lae'zel. Get our opponent down to 10. Very nice. Our opponent's looking to do some shenanigans. I opt to decline this time since I know how Lae'zel actually works this time. I decline that because I figured they were doing that to get me to exile her so then they could play a removal spell on her. And even if they have a meat hook, they can only meat hook for 2 at the moment. So Lae'zel would still survive. Opponent plays Bonecrusher. They try to fatal push Lae'zel, but we take the action this time. She re-enters the battlefield. We get to seek a non-land permanent of 3 or less again. And that ends the game. Woo! So those were the matches with our Naya Go Wide deck. Jetmir's Revels, as I call it up here. And I like this deck. I had fun with it. You know, I haven't played Historic in a while. I've been mostly focusing on Alchemy and a little bit of Standard. But, yeah, it was fun to come back to Historic, and it was fun to play Jetmir in Historic because, like I said at the beginning, Jetmir is one of my just all-time favorite cards, especially on Magic Arena. I just have so much fun with Jetmir. So it's fun to be able to play him in Historic as well. There's not a whole lot I would change about this deck. Like, I think mostly what I would change is, like, things out of the sideboard. Like, the 2 Shifting Ceratops I don't think we need because we have the 4 Guardian of Faith. So, the 4 Guardian of Faith allows us to evade, like, Wraths, like Wrath of God. Allows us to evade the Purge, like Divine Purge. So, I think I would get rid of the Shifting Ceratops. And honestly, I think I would bring in 2 Tamiyo Safekeepings. Just ways to prevent our creatures from being taken out by spot removal in or when we're going up against black decks, because, you know, black decks have, you know, Fatal Push and, you know, Heartless Act and Doomblade and things like that. So yeah, I think getting rid of the 2 Shifting Ceratops for a couple more Tamiyo Safekeeping would be good. And honestly, like, we could probably just go to, like, 3 Rampaging Ferocidon. But then again, you know, Rampaging Ferocidon kind of works against us because we want to go wide. So that means a Rampaging Ferocidon is going to ping us a lot. So you might actually just go Roiling Vortex instead. But I'm just going to honestly just keep one of each of these. Just for the fun of it. I personally like Quakebringer, but I mean, I understand why people wouldn't play Quakebringer. Like, he comes down, you know, against the life gain decks, he comes down like way too late. Even if you foretell him, he still just comes down way too late. So if you go, you know, like 3 Roiling Vortex or 3 Rampaging Ferocidon, I totally understand that. But as for everything else, I enjoyed the main deck a lot. And yeah, if you guys happen to play this in Historic Best of 3 or Historic Best of 1, let me know. You can find me on Twitter. I'm Trainer James MTG. I hope you like the video. Subscribe to the channel for more Magic the Gathering Arena content. And I will see you in our next video.